Acceptable use policies. What is an acceptable use policy, or an AUP? An acceptable use policy is a set of rules and regulations that must be followed when using the technology provided by the school district. Why do we need one? All schools should have an AUP to ensure the technology provided to employees and students is used in an acceptable manner. Any person that uses a technology must be completely aware of the ways in which the technology can and cannot be used. They must also know the consequences for violating these rules. AUPs help to ensure that students are protected from pernicious materials on the internet. They also enable student access to the extensive resources on the internet for learning and teaching, according to the acceptable use policies in a Web 2.0 and mobile era. Because, as Williamson 2010 notes, there is a wide variation in the teacher policies about the use of digital technology, including the internet, for classroom instruction or for accessing resources to complete assignments, school districts need a standard set of rules and regulations to avoid confusion among users. Our acceptable use policies. An overview. When using the district network and technology resources, use the school network in a responsible, ethical manner. Keep private information private. Do not create or share computer viruses. Do not monopolize the network. Do not use accounts other than your own. Do not attempt to break the computer network. Do not use the network for non-educational purposes. And respect copyrights. When using the internet, users must use the internet for educational purposes only. Teachers should not associate with students on social networking sites for personal reasons. They must not reveal personal information about themselves or others. Users must not use the internet to harass others, and students must only use the internet with permission and supervision by a staff member. When using electronic mail, only use the electronic mail provided by the district. Use courtesy when composing emails. Only use electronic mail for educational purposes. Do not send documents containing pornographic or obscene materials or communicate messages concerning illegal activities. Harassment or risking the safety of others via electronic mail is prohibited. Do not share login information with others, and be aware that electronic mail is not guaranteed private. Any student or faculty member who violate the AUP are subject to disciplinary action. These policies can be located in the Code of Conduct. Hard copies are located in the front office, and electronic copies are on the district's website. Sharing the acceptable use policy. At the beginning of each school year, the AUP must be reviewed by teachers, parents, and students. When communicating the policy with students and parents, teachers must review the AUP with students during the first day of school while they are reviewing the school rules. Students must then take their AUP home and have it reviewed by a parent or guardian. In the case that a student does not remember to take this document home, it must be easily accessible via the school's website and or sent home via email. After reviewing the document, students and parents must sign it to acknowledge that they've reviewed the policies and understand the consequences. Sharing the acceptable use policy with teachers. During the in-service days before the beginning of the school year, the technology coach and or media specialist must review the terms of the AUP with the entire faculty. This provides teachers the opportunity to ask questions if they are unsure about the guidelines. After reviewing the AUP, teachers must sign the document acknowledging their understanding. Suggestions for AUP implementation in the classroom. Review once again the AUP to ensure that students did in fact read and understand the policies the first time you use technology in your classroom. Create a list of technology usage scenarios, that is, going on Facebook, Instagram, etc. Ask students to decide if the situation is appropriate via the guidelines provided in the AUP. Assign a quiz on the terms of the AUP. Make sure to include questions about the consequences of violating the policy. At the end of the school year, ask students what additions could be made to the policy. This allows students to have a better understanding of the document and will help them buy into the policies, according to the acceptable use policies in a Web 2.0 and mobile era. Monitor students' email usage. They must only use school email accounts. Accessing personal email might tempt them to view messages that are not educational. Do not allow students to use their personal electronic devices during class, as they can easily access inappropriate information. Overall, teachers should strive to promote an understanding of safe, healthy, legal, and ethical uses of digital information and technologies, according to the International Society of Technology and Education standards. Suggestions for AUP implementation with teachers. Social media sites should be blocked on the school's network, that is, Facebook, Instagram, etc. By prohibiting access to these sites, there is no temptation to potentially use them and violate the AUP. Make only district email accessible on the school's network. Blocking personal email sites will keep faculty members focused on using email for school-related purposes only. Check yourself and your students. Are we using technology appropriately? Follow this quick checklist below to ensure you and your students are properly using technology. The answer to each question should be yes. Are you using technology honorably? That is, would you feel comfortable standing in front of a room of community members and sharing the ways you use technology? Are you using technology provided strictly for educational purposes? Are you keeping personal information private? Are you using the technology in a constructive and positive way?